Good morning. Welcome to meditation at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Janelle, and I'm honored to be here this morning with you in this time of connection, of contemplation, and of meditation. Before we fully begin, I often acknowledge the birds that are my accompaniment here on the farm, and I am grateful to them, and I acknowledge them again this morning. But I also want to acknowledge that I am not here alone. I have a very large dog who walks with me, and she is a very grounding presence. So this morning, I want also to acknowledge her presence with us as well. So as we begin, I invite you to center yourself wherever you are. Close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. Breathing in purposefully and mindfully. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. But it's just slow. Slow down. And just be here now. Finding that perfect space, the perfect rhythm of your breath, your life, the perfect rhythm of life, expressing as you. And just sit in that space and welcome it. It is full and deep and rich. It is the essence of you being. This morning, this July 4th, weekend, July 4th, a celebration of independence and of freedom. As I was thinking about this meditation, contemplating this idea of freedom, what a deep and rich concept. But I thought I'd go back to that Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence, to declare one's independence. We celebrate the history of our nation today. We celebrate the day and really the mindset of independence, this united, independent, and free. When I think of those words, united, independent, and free, we say them as if they belong together, but when you consider them, they kind of don't. United, together, but independent, separate. Today we celebrate being united, together, connected, and independent, separate. And we celebrate being free. And as I read through the Declaration of Independence, some lines popped out at me. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary to dissolve the bands which have connected and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle. Our country's early founding leaders found it necessary to dissolve the bands that connected them and to assume among the powers of the earth separate and equal station to which the laws of God and nature entitle them. And I think that in our philosophy of science of mind, we are called to, during the course of human experience, to examine and recognize those times when we are called to dissolve the bands that have connected us and to assume among the powers of the earth our station, recognizing the laws of nature and nature's God. To recognize that when a long train of abuses and wrongs are in our experience, it is our right and our duty to throw off such experiences and to provide guards for future security. It almost seems as if they speak of spiritual mind treatment. There comes a time in the experience of human life when we find it necessary to dissolve the bands that no longer serve us, the connections that no longer serve us, because it is our unalienable right to recognize our own equal station in the laws of nature and to throw off those things which no longer serve us, those things which are not the experience which we desire, and to provide new guards for future security. The Declaration of Independence also writes that experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. They're saying that experience has shown that sometimes we choose to suffer rather than right ourselves by abolishing what is comfortable and what we are accustomed to. And so, with these thoughts in mind, as we move into the silence, this morning I invite you to take an objective, open look at your life. Ask yourself, what is it here that no longer serves me? What in my experience is it time for me to disconnect, to dissolve the bands that have connected me, and to step into a new experience? Where is it that I am suffering or uncomfortable? Where is it that I need to abolish that form that I am accustomed to and step into a new experience? Where is it that I have been wronged long enough? Where is it that it is now time for me to throw off that abuse, that discomfort, and to provide a new thought for my future safety and security? Open and allow as we move into our silence. In the course of human events, it becomes necessary to throw off that which no longer serves us, to claim and declare your right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Celebrate your freedom. Thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
love. The face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face.
Tu sei la luce
luce di Dio.
You are the face.
You are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face.
You are the face of God.
You are the face
Oh,
of
c'est
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
God. You are the face
Tu
of God.
es خدایی.
You are the
You
face of
are the face of God.
You are the face of God. You are the
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of
You
love.
are the face of love.
I hold you in my
hold
heart.
you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face
You
of
are
love.
the face of love.
You are the face of
You are
love.
the face of love.
I hold you in my
I hold you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of
You
God.
are the face of God.
I hold you in my
I hold
heart.
you in my heart.
You are a part of
a
me.
part of me.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You are
of
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Oh,
of
c'est
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
God. You are the face
Tu
of God.
es خدایی.
You are the
You
face of
are the face of God.
You You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face
You
of
are the
love.
face of love.
You are the face of
You
love.
are the face of love.
I hold you in my
I hold
heart.
you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the
love.
face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
ruh خدایی.
You are the
You
face of
are the face of God.
You are the face of God. You are the You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart.
Good morning. Joni, it looks like you are still on mute. Are you able to unmute, Joni?
Yes, I am ready. Thank you. Little connection going on there. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Joni Bauman, practitioner, and I'll be giving you the announcements today. Everyone is invited to our Zoom room for our Sunday celebration, and our services are being live streamed to our YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. Please feel free to share our service from our YouTube channel to your own Facebook page. For everyone on Zoom with us today, please feel free to turn on your videos so we can see each other, but please remember, keep yourself muted. Thank you. Open Hearts, Open Mic. It's on hiatus for the summer. Thanks to everyone that has organized and participated. If you're interested in being in the Open Hearts Open Mic team in the fall, please reach out to Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org. The Core Council extends an invitation to members who would like to join a Core Council meeting. Please feel welcome to attend. Just reach out to one of the Core members for the link. Do you have a suggestion? We would love to hear your suggestion. Please send it via email to ccslsuggestionbox@gmail.com. And most importantly, if you would like prayer after service or anytime throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our Facebook page. That's the news for today. Thank you.
Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, and feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound, yeah. Breathe every breath out, yeah. Release your cringe. Love without waiting, slowly unhinge, yeah. You ain't got a thing to fear. It looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound, yeah. Unbound. You can stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are, yeah, who you are already. Lift up your voice, oh, lift it up now, and let it be heard, let it be heard, and tell me your story, tell it to me, don't leave out a word, not a word, no, 'cause I think I have been there too. unbound. Yeah. Lay it down, lay it down, lay it down, down, unbound. Yeah. Open your mind, unfold your heart. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Amy Papadoupolo, and it is my honor to welcome you here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Our opening song was called Unbound, and that was by Gary Lynn Floyd. So here at Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, we are an inclusive organization. We honor, celebrate, and acknowledge you for exactly who you are, which is a unique individualization of the one power, the one mind, and the one God. If you're joining us this morning on our Zoom link, welcome. We are glad you are here. I can see you. I can see most of you here this morning. Good morning. And if you are joining us on our YouTube channel, good morning. We are glad you are here on our YouTube channel. We usually have a YouTube host that you can type with and interact with on our YouTube channel, but I don't think this morning we have one. I think we are missing that YouTube host. They must be celebrating the 4th of July and they're free today. No duties. So, excuse me. Thank you for joining us if you're here on YouTube. Thank you if you're watching us later on our YouTube or on our Facebook page. So now, as many of you know, we are searching for our new senior minister. We have the job ad posted. And in order to bring the perfect fit to our community, it is up to us, those of us that are in our community, to embody the consciousness that will draw that person to us. It is that idea of we become that which we are seeking. We usually have a Google slide to show right now, and we usually say it together. However, this week we do not have our Google slides. So it's an opportunity for us to do something a little different. I would invite you to, if you'd like to, close your eyes and get into that place of a meditative, receptive consciousness, because I'm going to read our sacred covenant. Take a deep breath. And if it's comfortable for you, allow my words to become your words as I speak our sacred covenant for our next senior minister. I know there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wholeness. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For Dr. Ernest Holmes said, human endeavor is to get back to such an inward wholeness that all sense of fear, doubt, and uncertainty vanishes. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as a wise and loving expression of the One. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspired to live as love and the expression of wholeness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in such a way that expresses God and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful. God is gracious. And now please join with me in closing this by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Amen. So now please read, I do believe we have a, yes, we do have a slide for this. Please read our vision statement, our mission statement along with me. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. I'd like to thank practitioner Janelle Carroll for that beautiful outdoor meditation and also for holding virtual high watch for our service today. It allows us to go into consciousness in a deeper way. Our opening song again was Unbound by Gary Lynn Floyd. So now I'd like to reintroduce practitioner Joni Bauman. Joni.
With the ringing of the bowl, we begin our sacred service. I would like to introduce our community member, Julie Colburn, who will be giving us the reading this morning. Julie?
A reading from Sherry Evans, The Roads to Truth in Search of New Thoughts' Roots. Unity is the song of life. It is the grand theme underlying the rich variations that exist throughout the cosmos. Whatever we see, whatever we experience, is only a manifestation of this eternal oneness.
Thank you, Julie. And now let's take a moment of silence together. And as we contemplate these beautiful words, unity is the song of life. I am conscious of Spirit's presence, infinite love and generosity. The love of this wonderful presence is within me and everyone in this service, radiating to all, flowing through all, much like beautiful music that touches our hearts. We are one with this universal essence of life and feel the richness that is ours to share. I claim that we are abundantly supplied with everything that makes for beauty, well-being, progressive living, prosperity, and happiness. The gifts of the Spirit are ours to receive, and we accept these gifts with gratitude, expectancy, and joy. Our cup is overflowing, and I know this service is in divine order, perfect and blessed, lifting us up with the power and the one wholeness of the One. I release this understanding of this oneness, this truth into the law, knowing that it is already done. And with a grateful heart for this loving and enlightened presence within, please join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Joni. I appreciate that. Oh, wonderful grounding. So, happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. It is 4th of July. A lot of us had fireworks last night, but today is the actual 4th of July. So happy 4th of July. Our monthly theme is Pulled by Vision. And our weekly talk title today is Pulled by Vision, and we hold these truths. So of course, the we hold these truths is part of the Declaration of Independence, which we're going to be talking about today. The idea for this month is to go back to where we were. I think it was in March when we talked about visioning. We've had this theme go through this whole year so far. We visioned, like I said, I think it was in March. We visioned, we caught the vision for our life. We talked about how to do that for a month. Then we talked about how to step into that vision, to have the courage to step into that vision. So we've been talking about grabbing the vision, about capturing Spirit's vision for our life and stepping into that. Well, today in July, we're going to take an opportunity to revisit our spiritual principles and use them again as a launching pad or as a stepping off point for a fuller expression of Spirit's vision as us. We talked a little bit, I talked about before about being either pulled by vision or pushed by fear. And really, I think that was Michael Beckwith that said that we are pushed by fear. We all have been in that place until we are pulled by vision. And and that's okay to be pushed by fear until we're pulled by vision. So talking about being pulled by vision, vision is a result of doing our spiritual practice, being in the quiet, being in the contemplative, doing our journaling, doing our prayer work, whether it's in the morning, in the evening, going on throughout the day. I've been talking to a good friend lately. How do we increase our faith, or how do we practice our faith? And one of the things that both my friend and I are doing is listening to more New Thought music throughout the day. So that's another way to have spiritual practice, because it just reminds us of who we are, because we get on autopilot, right? We just have a tendency to do and do and do, and we're human beings, not human doing. So it gives us a time to remember, reflect, and come back in. So this idea of being pulled by vision, that can go hand in hand with living from Kingdom 3. So we talk about the 4 different kingdoms of spiritual development. First one being victim. Second one being manifester, or Michael Beckwith would say manipulator. The third one is through me, and the fourth one is as me. I think I've heard it said like 80% of people are in the Kingdom 1, and Kingdom 4 has been achieved by Jesus and Buddha, and it's a place where even they couldn't stay. I don't remember where I heard it, so I'll just throw that out there. This idea of Kingdom 3, we need to be in that kingdom too sometimes. Also, though, we have bills to pay. We have things that we need to accomplish. So it's okay to be in that manifester part. And I think that victim part, boy, I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself in there. I just do. Oh, and then I do my spiritual practice and I wake up and I shift. And I'm find myself back there again. I think it's just parts of the experience. So being pulled by vision, and we hold these truths, is our theme for today. Dr. Ernest Holmes, who's our founder, used to have a radio program. He also used to give talks, and he started the Science Mind magazine. And in one of his radio programs, It was during the Korean conflict. He encouraged Americans, or encouraged us, whoever was listening to his program, to know the content of the foundational documents and principles of the United States. He said that those of us who live in the United States, we need to know what our principles are. Just like in Science of Mind, we talk about principles. I try to talk about principle every single week. What do we believe? Holmes said also, as Americans, as countrymen, as country people, we need to know the foundational documents and the principles of that. And I would even speculate that Holmes would also encourage people of other countries to know their foundational documents. No matter where you live, the country you live in, Holmes encouraged us to know that. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, I want to talk to you and myself and remind myself of the documents that the country was founded upon. Because in preparing for this talk, I thought about the similarities and any differences between the Declaration of Independence and the principles of Science of Mind. Then I thought about the Bill of Rights, which is the first 10 articles of the Constitution, and our principles. Then I started thinking about it on a global scale. Did you know that the United Nations has a Universal Declaration of Human Rights? So then I started thinking, what is the similarity between the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights and the Science of Mind principles? And I saw it as a big Venn diagram, kind of as the Declaration of Independence over here that overlaps with the Bill of Rights down here, Science of Mind principles over here, and the UN Declaration of Human Rights here. You know, that big Venn diagram, and then that one spot right in the middle, where do they all intersect? And as I was reading these, what I noticed, which was flooring and amazing and just such perfect timing, is freedom. All four of these documents, as far as I could tell, what they all have in common is individual freedom. And boy, isn't that what we're about in the Science of Mind? I mean, we are, if you think about it, hang on one sec, I had it up right here. Our very, very first principle is there's only one. There's only one living Almighty God, indestructible, absolute, self-existent cause. The one manifests itself in and through all creation, but it's not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe, which is you and me and everything we see, this is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So let's go back to the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was laid out, we should say, it laid out the grievances that the colonists had against King George and Britain at the time. So we weren't our own country yet. America was not its own country yet. We were just a bunch of colonies that had belonged to Britain. And there were rules and taxes and tariffs and laws that the colonists felt impinged upon, I think that's the right word, but encroached upon their individual freedoms. And that's what the colonists came over here for, was for freedom. So literally, the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, which is today, it was literally a declaration of independence from Britain. And I'm going to read it to you. It's not very long. I am not going to read the part where the framers laid out all of the grievances against Britain, and you can find it online. You can read it. I'm going to skip that part, but I do want to read you the first part and the last part because it is important. So the Constitution, the Declaration, I'll talk about the Constitution in a minute. The Declaration of Independence in July 4th, 1776 says, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impels them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that all life are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right and their duty to throw off such a government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, that all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. And so there they list all of the grievances that they have against Great Britain and King George. And then at the end, they say, nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind enemies in war, in peace, friends. And then the end. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America and General Congress assembled, appeal to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name, by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that the United Colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have the full power to levy war, to conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all the other acts and things which independent states may do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge our lives. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. So that was the Declaration of Independence. Do you hear that theme of independence, of not wanting to be controlled, of that divine providence? They're talking about God. They're talking about that universal nature of God. So that was July 4th of 1776. That was our break from Great Britain. And then the framers drafted, and a couple different times went through a couple different drafts of this. Eventually the Constitution in 1789 was adopted. And the framers, what they did with the Constitution is the promises in the Declaration, they made it formal in the Constitution. That's what the Constitution is. It's the basic foundation of the country. And there are the Bill of Rights, which is at the very end of the Constitution, promises the rights of every citizen. So I'm going to read the Bill of Rights because it's important, and think about where on that Venn diagram they overlap. Think about where on that Venn diagram they overlap with the science of mind. Amendment 1. Is this the one I want? Hang on, sorry. Yeah, this one. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise of or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. That is Amendment number 1. That is the Bill of Rights, number 1. Number 2, a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Amendment number 3, no soldier shall, in times of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Amendment number 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizure shall not be violated, and no warrants shall be issued, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Number 5, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces in the militia. So basically, this is the what do they call that? Double jeopardy. You can't, once you have, you can't be tried for the same crime twice, basically. So the rest of them, they don't really, actually they do apply to us. Did I do number 6? No, number 6, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial, an impartial jury of the state and district where the crime shall have been committed, which district shall be previously ascertained by the law, and to be informed of the nature and the cause of the accusation, to be confronted by the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel. When I think about these, there are places in the world that this does not happen. You could sit in jail for, think about Nelson Mandela. He didn't have this right. Number 7, in suits at common law, where the value and controversy shall exceed $20, the right to a trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined by any court in the United States than according to the rules of common law. That's a double jeopardy. Number 8, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Number 9, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed or denied or disparaged others retained by the people. And number 10, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So those are the Bill of Rights. So there's a common thread here between the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, preserving Americans' rights to be individual. The last one I want to read to you is the from the United Nations. It's the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And this was adapted in 1948. And I won't read all of this to you. I will read the preamble and then a couple of the articles. You can find this online. It says, whereas recognition of the inherent dignity of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom and justice and peace in the world. Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the consciousness of mankind, and the event of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and beliefs and freedom from fear and want has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people. Whereas it is essential, if a man is not to be compelled to have recourse as a last resort to rebellion against tyranny, oppression, that human rights should be protected by a rule of law. Whereas it is essential to promote the development of friendly relations between nations. Whereas the people of the United Nations have in the Charter reaffirmed their faith to the fundamental human rights and the dignity and the worth of the human person and the equal rights of men and women, and have determined to promote social progress and better standards of life and larger freedom. Whereas member states have pledged themselves to achieve, in cooperation with the United Nations, the promotion of universal respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms. So, therefore, the General Assembly proclaims this universal declaration of human rights as a common standard of achievement for all people and all nation, to the end that every individual and every organ of society keep this declaration constantly in mind, shall strive by teaching and educating to promote respect for these rights and freedoms, and by progressive measures, national and international, to secure their universal and effective recognition and observance, both among the member states themselves and among the people. This is article number 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and consciousness and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration, without the distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any limitation or sovereignty. Article 3, everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the security of person. 4, no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. 5, no one should be subject to torture or cruel, inhumane, or degrading punishment or treatment. 2 more, Article 6, everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. And number 7, all are equal before law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration and against any indictment to such discrimination. So do you see here, that was from the United Nations. That's the Universal Declaration, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You know, as I was writing this, I wanted to read this. I know it felt a little cumbersome, and at least to me, but I think it's important. I feel like it's important to go back and to look at our Declaration of Independence. It's important to go back and read it. It's important to look at our Bill of Rights. It is important to know the laws of the country that we live in. I also think it's important that these are universal human rights that the UN has created this declaration for, and they fall right in alignment with what we believe. We believe our very second core principle is we believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul. Oh wait, that's not the one I was talking about. Sorry, the next one. It's the complete freedom. We believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature. I kind of feel like I'm preaching to the choir, which it's funny as I'm giving this sermon, as I'm giving this talk, this is who we are, you guys. This is who we are. You know, we talk about a world that works for everyone, one person at a time, starting with me. The Csl Global Vision says we envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social consciousness in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. We also say in our Global Vision, we envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. And we see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God, connection with each other, a world in which individuality and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness or action. we were born for this moment. We were born for this time. Science of mind is not the only philosophy that can help to raise the vibration of the planet. Religious science, science of mind, is the one I know I have chosen, and I know it is the one that many of you else have chosen. I heard Ken Gordon, a field leader, say one time, you know, there are some things in science of mind that don't quite fit for me, which I was surprised to hear him say as the field leader. He said, but you know what? It's the best thing going. It's the best thing going for me. So there's a call to action here. There's a call to action for us. And I think as we come out of, at least as America comes out of this pandemic, I should say the United States, as the United States comes out of this pandemic, as more and more of us are vaccinated and come out and be together, or come out and wear our masks and are together, there's a call to action. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I can feel it. Can you feel it? There's something wanting to be born through us. And I just want to take today is this, I love this word, confluence of the 4th of July, landing on a Sunday, coming out, at least the United States, kind of coming out of this pandemic. You know, my daughter went to a fireworks last night at the big fireworks gathering, and it was the first time that really people had gathered that she went to. I didn't go, but it was the first time people got together in those big groups. As we come back together, let's come back together better, to embrace the freedom and the justice, the equality, the respect, to step into these principles that were given in the Declaration and the Bill of Rights and the Human Rights Declaration from the UN, and to live our principles in the world. And again, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because I'm looking at the faces on Zoom, and I know all of you personally, and we all do this. So we live our truth in the world, and it makes a difference. I claim that for us. I know that for us. And I claim for each of us that we are pulled by vision for our own vision, and also by CCSL vision, whatever that may be. So let's take this into prayer. As I just quietly slip into that space within my heart, within my soul, within my being, that I know that there is only one God expressing through this whole planet. No matter what we call it, no matter if it's Yahweh or Jesus or Buddha or Shiva or whatever it is, Muhammad, it is all the unique expression of that one power and that one presence. And this one is good, it is God, it is life affirming, it is life promoting, it is peace and power and beauty and love and joy and freedom. And so I speak my word right here and right now for each person hearing my voice, knowing that I am pulled by vision, that I allow and open and surrender to that through me, that divine spirit, I become that empty vessel for it to move and be and have its experience in this world as me, as I become one with that one. And what's true for me is also true for each and every person hearing my voice, as we become that vessel for the infinite one. I also speak my word today on this July 4th, not only for Americans, but for the world population, that today there is peace, there is independence, there is enough food, there is comfort specifically for those families that have lost or are still wondering down in Florida. I speak my word for them, knowing comfort and grace and ease. And I also speak my word for every barbecue, every pool party, every gathering today, that there is understanding, that there is love, that there is joy, that there is wellness and independence, that unique independence that we were all born to manifest. I claim the courage to manifest that today for each and every person in our country. I also claim patience and grace for all of this. I claim this and more, knowing that that infinite mind has this idea and something beyond. I claim this, I know it, I know my work here is done, because this is what I can do, is to speak my word. And so now I release it into the law of cause and effect that always says yes, that comes back to me, shaken up, pressed down, shaken up, and overflowing, that I live from the saucer of the teacup. It is good, good, and so good. I let it go with a grateful heart. I say thank you. And please join with me in closing by saying, and so it is. So thank you for being here today with us this morning. It is now is the time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you for all of the ways that you continue to give to the center, to support the center, especially during these times of hybrid, of coming back together. It's important to us, and we ask that you please either keep up with your pledge or change your pledge, because that's how we know what our budget is. So thank you for doing that, or thank you for changing it if you need to. The money that we get in not only helps us to make our budget, but it also helps us to run our Sundays, helps us to run our programs, but it also, in the bigger scheme of everything, it helps us to fulfill our vision, and that vision of a world that works for everyone, where everyone is independent and everyone is empowered. We know that that one God is our source, and we are simply circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. And we are grateful that you give. There are many, many ways to give. One is text to give, which is 614-681-8616. Or you can go to our website, columbuscsl.org, and there's a PayPal button at the top. You can also mail your donations to CSL, P.O. Box 14462, Columbus 43214. Or you can also set up autopay through your bank and have it automatically sent. And if you'd like to do that or want some help with that, you can call the office or send us a private Facebook message. So with that all said, bring into mind the energy, that spirit energy that you're circulating. We used to take our gifts. This was before a lot of the electronic stuff, but when we used to have checks or cash, and we put them next to our heart. So let's just take a moment, get that energy of spirit. If you want to rub your hands together, remind yourself that energy, you can feel it. Pull your hands apart a little bit. That's Spirit's energy. If you want, Put that circulating energy on your heart and say the blessing with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I have no eyes to see what lies ahead of me, I will be one with a vibration where boundless joy breeds wild elation. When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I have exhausted human physicality, I will embrace my resurrection as I move through a new dimension.
Don't you worry, don't you fret. Trust me, I got no regret at all. Into space and out of time, I find my wings and learn to fly from a free fall.
When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when to leave my body has become what's best for me, I will feel from a fresh perception what I have known since my inception.
So don't you worry, don't you fret. Trust me, I got no regret at all. Into space and out of time, I find my wings and learn to fly from a free fall.
When I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I dive into a deeper field of energy, when I dive into a deeper field of energy,
So don't you worry, don't you fret. Trust me, I got no regret at all. Into space and out of time, I find my wings and learn to fly from a free fall.
when I dive into a deeper field of energy.
Joni, you're muted.
Joni, can you unmute? Oh, I think Joni might have some technical difficulties. Looks like she's frozen. So join me now as I speak our prayer of offering. I'm so grateful for all of the ways that the center continues to get blessed in the forms of money, of check, of time, talent, and treasure. I bless these gifts that we receive today and all throughout this week, knowing that they truly go forth to bless and heal and prosper our center and our lives. I claim abundance, and I claim overall well-being for each and every person here, and specifically for CCSL. I see it, I know it, I claim it as abundant and forward moving. With a grateful heart, I say thank you. And together we say, and so it is. So I'd like to thank Janelle Carroll for the meditation this morning and for holding High Watch. Thank you, Joni, for being the practitioner of the day today. And I see that you're back on now. Your glitching has stopped. Welcome back. Thank you, Julie Colburn, for doing our community reading today. Thank you, Tammy Evans, for playing our videos today. Thank you to Jay Westfall for being our Zoom host today. And a quick shout out to Gary Lynn Floyd and Jamie Lula. They're our artists that we are featuring this month. And also thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone that is here this morning or that are watching later on. If in fact you are joining us for the very first time today, we welcome you. We are glad you are here, or if you're watching later on. If you're interested in more information about who we are, about what we believe or our philosophy, please let us know and we can send you a welcome packet in the mail. Please contact the office or send us a private Facebook message. Also, we have a weekly email that goes out. It has the Zoom link to our services in it. It also has more information about who we are and what we're doing right now. If you're not receiving that in email and you'd like to, please call the office or send us a private Facebook message. And that is all our service for today. So please say our blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now, and so it is. Please enjoy our closing song called One Big Family by Gary Lynn Floyd and Jamie Lula. Happy 4th of July.
Sing it if you know it. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your